Success doesn't come from controlling the world. It comes from controlling yourself. Ever feel like you're stuck on a never-ending treadmill? You wake up to a flood of notifications. Your day is packed with deadlines, silent pressure from others, and moments that push you to the edge. Quick to anger, quick to give up. You're trying to take charge of your life. But deep down, it feels like your emotions, your distractions, your burnout, they're the ones in control. If that sounds familiar, you're not alone. And here's the good news. There's a timeless philosophy that's helped millions, from ancient emperors to modern entrepreneurs. Stay calm, clear, and grounded in the middle of life's chaos. It's called Stoicism. Now, this isn't some dry academic theory. Stoicism is a practical art of living, a mindset that helps you manage your emotions, master your thinking, and show up steady and strong no matter what the world throws at you. And the best part? It doesn't ask you to change the world. It simply teaches you to change yourself first. In this journey, we're going to dive into 8 daily Stoic habits that will help you build a mind like steel, stay emotionally steady in uncertain times, and from that foundation, create success that's truly sustainable from the inside out. This isn't about some big, overnight transformation. It's about small, powerful shifts, a quiet inner revolution. And it starts with you. It starts today. What is Stoicism and why it helps you succeed? In a world where every day feels like a flood of bad news, endless competition, and nonstop pressure from society, family, and even yourself, it's easy to feel burned out. We get caught in the chaos, try to control everything, our jobs, our relationships, our career paths, how we look, and we forget the one thing we actually can control, ourselves. That's why more and more people, especially young, driven minds seeking real success, are turning to Stoicism as a compass, a way to stay grounded, focused, and calm in the storm. Stoicism is a school of philosophy that started in ancient Greece around the 3rd century BC. But Stoics weren't monks hiding in caves. They were people on the front lines of life. Marcus Aurelius, a Roman emperor. Epictetus, a former slave. Seneca, a politician and entrepreneur. They faced real chaos, real pressure, real public judgment, and still kept a level of calm and clarity most of us only dream of. The core idea of Stoicism is this. Success and happiness don't come from controlling the world. They come from controlling your own mindset and actions. Stoicism teaches you to clearly separate 2 categories, what you can control and what you can't. From there, you learn to channel your energy into what actually belongs to you, your thoughts, your choices, your character, and let go of the noise, other people's opinions, unpredictable outcomes, or sudden changes you didn't ask for. This isn't about being passive or giving up. It's actually a deep form of mental clarity. Because when you stop being shaken by what you can't control, you start making stronger decisions, staying focused longer, and building a more stable foundation for real, long-term success. Think of the most successful people you know. They're not the luckiest. They're the ones who bounce back fast after failure, who stay calm under pressure, who stay locked in on their mission, even when the world tries to pull them off track. That's Stoic thinking in action. Master yourself instead of letting the world master you. Why does Stoicism give you an edge? Because in a world full of distraction, reactivity, and emotional chaos, the person who can stay calm, consistent, and focused always wins in the long run. And here's the best part. Stoicism doesn't ask you to become a philosopher. It just asks you to practice a little every single day through small but powerful habits. And that's exactly what we'll explore next. Let's start with the first one, negative visualization. The simple yet powerful habit of imagining adversity each morning and building unshakable inner strength from within. Habit 1, visualize adversity each morning. Every morning, take 2 to 5 minutes to imagine what could go wrong during the day. In Stoic philosophy, this is called negative visualization. It's a practice that has been used for over 2,000 years. At first, it may sound a bit negative, but in reality, this habit helps you stay mentally strong. It prepares you, so you won't be caught off guard when challenges show up. The Stoic philosopher Seneca once said, "The person who prepares for adversity will never be defeated by it." Each morning, ask yourself, what could go wrong today? What might I lose? If someone makes me angry or rejects me, How will I respond? This isn't about thinking negatively. It's about mental preparation, and it helps you in two powerful ways. First, if something bad really happens, you'll stay calm. You've already thought it through. You won't panic. Second, if things go smoothly, you'll naturally feel more grateful. You'll see how lucky you are instead of taking it for granted. This habit is simple, but it builds strength. It helps you manage emotions. It helps you respond with reason, not reaction. So tomorrow morning, don't just hope for a perfect day. Prepare for a hard one, and you'll be ready for anything. Habit 2. Write a Stoic journal every morning and night. If you ask truly successful people what they do every day, many will say this: I journal, not to complain, not to ramble, but to think clearly, to reflect, to reset the mind. For the Stoics, journaling was a daily ritual. Marcus Aurelius, the Roman emperor, wrote his private thoughts in a little notebook we now know as Meditations. He never meant for anyone to read it. It was just for himself, a reminder to become a better man, one day at a time. Stoicism doesn't ask you to be perfect. It asks you to improve, slowly, patiently, honestly. And journaling is how you do that. So how does Stoic journaling work? There are 2 key times to write: morning and night. In the morning, you write to prepare your mind. Ask yourself, what challenges might I face today? How do I want to respond when things go wrong? What values do I want to hold on to, no matter what? Just a few lines. That's enough to reset your mindset before you step into a noisy world. Morning journaling is like putting on mental armor. It helps you stay centered when chaos hits. In the evening, you write to reflect. Ask yourself, how did I show up today? Did I fall short of my own standards? Did I overreact to something? And what would I do differently tomorrow? Evening journaling is not about beating yourself up. It's about being honest. It's about learning. It's how you grow, quietly, steadily, day by day. You don't need to write a lot. Sometimes just answering 1 or 2 questions is enough to create real change. What matters most is consistency. Make it a small daily ritual, a way to reconnect with yourself. Now imagine this. You do this for 30 days. You'll build a powerful archive of self-awareness. You'll see what you fear, what you value, how you think, how you react, and how you grow. Journaling like a Stoic isn't just a habit. It's a mental training tool. It helps you live with intention, respond with reason, and step closer to your best self, 1 page at a time. Habit 3. Don't react emotionally right away. In life, most of our biggest regrets come from reacting too fast. A harsh word said in anger, a rushed decision made when emotions are high, an impulsive action taken when we feel hurt. Stoic thinking teaches us something powerful. Nothing can truly harm you unless you let it into your mind. The Stoic philosopher Epictetus said, people are not disturbed by events, but by their opinions about them. What does that mean? It means that the event itself is not the problem. It's your reaction to it that causes the pain. Someone insults you? That's just words. It's your thoughts about those words that make you angry. You fail at something? That's just an outcome. It's the meaning you attach to it, shame, doubt, hopelessness, that creates suffering. That's why one of the most important Stoic habits is this: pause before you react. Think of yourself as the person holding the pause button in every situation. When someone says something that upsets you, stop and ask, is this something I can actually control? What kind of character do I want to show in this moment? What response will reflect the person I'm trying to become? That short pause, even just a few seconds, can be the difference between reacting emotionally and responding with strength and clarity. You can train this with something simple: your breath. When you feel triggered, stop, take a deep breath. Don't reply, don't react. Just 3 deep breaths can be enough to take back control. The most successful people aren't emotionless, but they don't let emotions drive the car. They understand that how you react is a choice, not a reflex. And that choice is something you can train every day. Not reacting immediately doesn't mean you don't care. It means you care enough to respond with purpose, with clarity, with values. Always remember, between stimulus and response, there's a space. And in that space, you get to decide how you want to live. Habit 4, practice discomfort on purpose. One of the biggest reasons people fail on the path of personal growth is this. They're too afraid of discomfort. We're raised to seek comfort, avoid pain, and only take action when we feel ready. But Stoicism flips that mindset completely. The Stoics believe that there is no success without struggle. And if you want to build real strength, you have to step into discomfort on purpose. Seneca, one of the most well-known Stoic philosophers, once gave this advice. Spend a few days each month living simply. Eat little, wear basic clothes, sleep rough, and then ask yourself, is this what I was so afraid of? This isn't about being extreme. It's not about punishing yourself. It's about building resilience so that when life does get hard, you're already grounded. You don't panic because you've already trained for it. In today's world, you don't need to wear rags or sleep on the floor. You can practice discomfort through small, modern choices. Skip breakfast once a week and train your body to stay calm when it's hungry. Take cold showers to push past physical hesitation. Turn off your phone for half a day and build your tolerance for boredom and silence. Walk instead of driving to practice patience. Say no to a comfort you usually rely on and ask yourself if you really need it. Every time you choose a small discomfort, you're building a mental buffer. You're training like an athlete. And just like athletes don't wait for game day to start practicing, you shouldn't wait for a crisis to build mental strength. If you want to develop resilience, discipline, and grit, you can't just read about it. You have to live it. You have to train for it. Discomfort doesn't break you. It builds you. Successful people do what most others avoid. Why? Because they've learned how to stay steady inside discomfort. And when you master that, when discomfort becomes something you can handle, you'll move faster, go further, and stand stronger on your journey to success. Habit 5. Focus only on what you can control. If there's only one thing you take away from Stoicism, let it be this. Learn to separate what's within your control from what's not. This is the foundation of all Stoic thinking. And if you can practice this mindset every day, you'll free yourself from a huge amount of stress. Things like anxiety, anger, frustration, insecurity, and constant dissatisfaction with life. The philosopher Epictetus put it simply, some things are up to us, some things are not. And he made it clear, freedom begins when you stop caring about what's outside your control. Let's look at a few real-life examples. Here's what you can't control. What other people think of you. The weather today. Your boss's opinion. The outcome of an interview. The attitude of your partner, coworkers, or customers. But here's what you can control. How well you prepare. How you respond to rejection. Your effort and focus today. The words you choose in a difficult conversation. Your commitment to your own values. Here's the problem. Most of us spend way too much energy trying to change the things we can't control, while ignoring the one thing we can always change, ourselves. So what's the Stoic habit here? Every time you feel overwhelmed or frustrated, stop and ask yourself, is this something I can control? If not, can I let it go? If yes, what action can I take right now? Once you start building this habit, something shifts. You become calmer. You become more focused. You stop wasting energy fighting the world, and instead, start putting that energy into improving yourself little by little. And this mindset is powerful at work, too. A great leader doesn't try to control how their team feels. They focus on how they communicate and inspire. A great salesperson doesn't stress over rejection. They focus on making the next call better. A strong student doesn't complain about a tough exam. They focus on how to prepare better for the next one. When you stay focused on what you control, you become stronger, more grounded, and far less anxious, no matter the situation. Because success isn't about making the world bend to your will. It's about knowing what belongs to you and putting your energy there every single day. Habit 6, Stoic meditation and mindfulness. When most people think of meditation, they picture someone sitting cross-legged, eyes closed, breathing deeply in a quiet room. But in Stoicism, meditation isn't about a pose or a breathing technique. It's a mental practice, a way of watching your own thoughts, so you don't get swept away by temporary emotions. The Stoics didn't meditate to escape life. They meditated to face life, with clarity and strength. Marcus Aurelius, Roman emperor and Stoic philosopher, wrote in his personal journal every day. He reminded himself of life's fragility, of gratitude, of the things outside his control. Those writings weren't just notes. They were a form of meditation. Meditation through thought, through reflection, through inner awareness. Stoic meditation can happen anywhere, anytime. While walking, while waiting at a red light, right after someone criticizes you. In that moment, pause and ask yourself, where's my mind going right now? Is this emotion a reflex or a choice? What really matters in this moment? That's mindfulness. No special room, no long practice, just being fully present and aware of what's happening inside you. One of the best ways to train this is through your breath. When you feel overwhelmed, angry, or anxious, just return to your breath. A few slow, deep breaths are often enough to pull you out of reactivity and back into clarity. Stoicism teaches this simple truth. Thoughts are not facts. Emotions are not commands. They're just signals. And you, as a rational human being, can observe them, question them, and choose your response. When you practice this kind of meditation daily, something shifts. You become calmer in chaos. You stop overreacting to small things. You learn to take a step back, and from there, you make better decisions. The most successful people aren't the ones who are always right. They're the ones who can watch themselves and adjust in real time. And Stoic meditation is a tool that helps you do exactly that. Not once, but every single day. Habit 7. Communicate with kindness, not emotion. If there's one area where we're most likely to lose our calm, it's in conversation. One careless comment, a cold stare, a short reply in a text message, an unkind critique. It doesn't take much for us to react emotionally, with anger, frustration, hurt, or even by cutting someone off completely. But a Stoic doesn't let that happen on autopilot, because they understand communication isn't just about words. It's about character. Epictetus once said, "Any person who can make you angry is your master." And that's exactly what a Stoic avoids, letting others control their emotional state. So what's the habit? In every conversation, whether it's tense or calm, choose to speak with reason, not with raw emotion. You can disagree without being disrespectful. You can receive criticism without getting defensive. You can be misunderstood without needing to defend yourself right away. A Stoic doesn't stay silent out of fear. They speak with intention because they know if you lose your temper, you give your power away. Here's the beautiful part. You can practice this every single day in the smallest interactions. When someone interrupts you, you can pause, smile, and keep your tone steady. When you get criticism, instead of snapping back, you can ask calmly, "Can you explain that a bit more?" When someone brings negative energy, you don't have to match it. You can choose to hold your ground without being pulled into their storm. Kindness is not weakness. It's the strength of someone who knows their own worth and refuses to let the outside world shake it. And remember this, every strong relationship, whether it's friendship, love, or business, is built on high-quality conversations. Good communicators don't just talk a lot. They create safe, honest, and respectful spaces for others to show up. When you train this habit daily, you won't just manage yourself better. You'll become someone who radiates calm, steadiness, and confidence to everyone around you. Habit 8. Live with the awareness of death, memento mori. If you knew for sure that tomorrow was your last day on earth, how would you live today? Maybe you'd stop wasting time on petty arguments. Maybe you'd finally say that apology, that thank you, or chase that dream you've been putting off. Maybe you'd live more fully, love more deeply, and act more boldly. The Stoics didn't avoid the thought of death. They faced it as an essential part of life, and they had a phrase to remind themselves of it every single day. Memento mori. Remember, you will die. At first, it might sound dark, but in truth, it's one of the most life-affirming messages you can carry. Because only when you truly understand that life is short, do you begin to live with intention. Marcus Aurelius, the philosopher king, once wrote, "Live as if you were dying. Let your words, your thoughts, your actions all come from the urgency of someone who knows there's no time to waste." And that wasn't just something he wrote. He lived it. He ruled a massive empire, yet still found time every day to reflect, to write, to strengthen his inner world, as if he knew that every moment could be his last. You don't have to think about death in a gloomy way. You just have to remember, your time is limited, and that alone is enough to make every moment sacred. Think about it. A hug from someone you love. A deep, honest conversation. A courageous decision. A moment of forgiveness for others and for yourself. When you live with the awareness that you won't be here forever, you stop procrastinating. You stop wasting time on things that don't matter. And you start choosing to really live, not just exist. This is what the Stoics did. They looked death in the eye so they could treasure life more deeply. Ask yourself each morning, if today were my last, how would I live it? And then live that way before it's too late. Success doesn't start out there. It starts with how you train yourself every single day. You've just been on a powerful journey. From the core foundations of Stoicism to 8 specific habits anyone can practice to build a mind that's stronger, calmer, and more clear. Because in a world full of chaos, where you can't control the economy, society, or what people say about you, your greatest advantage isn't power or luck. It's the ability to master yourself. And through this journey, you've learned how to do exactly that. How to start each morning by imagining adversity so you're not shaken when it comes. How to journal in the morning and at night, to reflect and grow each day. How to pause before reacting emotionally and choose reason over impulse. How to train your resilience through discomfort to build inner strength. How to focus on what you can control and let go of what you can't. How to practice mindfulness and stay grounded in the moment. How to communicate with kindness, even under pressure. And how to live with the awareness of death so you can truly value life. Each of these habits is a brick, and together, they build a solid foundation for a powerful mind and a steady, intentional life. Stoicism isn't some ancient theory. It's a living, breathing art how to be human, and a practical roadmap for how to make better decisions, stay strong under pressure, be lighter in relationships, and go deeper in how you live. So if this message spoke to something in you, don't just close a tab and forget about it. Pick one small habit, just one, and start tomorrow. Because real strength doesn't come from big, dramatic change. It comes from quiet consistency, from the small things you do every single day. And if you found this video helpful, do me a favor. Like it, share it, subscribe to the channel. Help spread Stoic thinking to more people. Because who knows, one idea from this video might just change someone's life. The same way it's starting to change yours.